Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the ITC2 stake pool if you want to come earn interest on your ADA. We also, of course, have ITC as well. We now have two pools that you can come earn interest on your ADA with. Now, I just want to briefly go over where ADA is, and we want to start doing it with reference to its 20-week SMA. So again, I like to look at this in terms of the natural log of the price over the 20-week SMA. This is a fairly decent place to start, in my opinion. So the natural log of the price over the 20-week SMA, and for this, it looks something like this. Now, it's color-coded red when we are below both the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. It is color-coded green when we're above either one of them. Okay, so over the last, say, or basically since October of 2020, we've been green for longer than we ever have been before. Okay, so this represents here about 32 weeks or so of being above the 20-week SMA. Now, what's interesting when you look at this extension from the 20-week SMA, it tends to slowly move up, right? It tends to slowly move up, and when you look at this equation, the natural log of a number, remember that the natural log of 1 is 0. Okay, so if we draw a line at 0, let's draw a line more or less at 0, anyways. So we'll draw a line right around here or so. This is around 0. I could probably get it a little bit closer, but this is right around 0. So when we are above 0, okay, so when we're above it, we know that we are green. Okay, when we're below it, we're red. When we are above it, or let's just suppose that we're at 0, it means that the price and the 20-week SMA are the same thing. Okay, so anytime you see it crossing over here, it means that the price of ADA and its 20-week SMA are identical. When it crosses that point right there, you can see that they are in fact identical. What's interesting though is since December of 2018, the extension from the 20-week SMA is generally on an uptrend, even when you look at extension to the downside. So for instance, over here, we went all the way down to -1. Okay, here it moved up to -0.5. This one was around -0.4. This one was around -0.06 at the bottom there. Right now we're at around 0.2. So I think the question remains is, well, is this just some really long macro trend? You can also see that some of the tops are generally increasing as well. Are we going to continue this move for a long time to come? Because if we do, you can imagine how long this could theoretically stretch out as we continue to come down to the 20-week SMA, test it. Are we going to hold it as support or not? Now, remember with ADA, we said many times that even in a bull market, you can get 60% corrections at the very least. And, so far, it had been a while. We hadn't seen a 60% correction in a long time. In fact, the last one we saw before this one was back in February and March when the valuation of ADA corrected by a very modest 77%. Now, this one, a lot of people might not necessarily would have believed that we could still get 60% corrections, but again, this was about a 64% correction. So, as we continue to navigate the market cycle, always be open to the idea of corrections. Okay, we have to recognize that just because institutional money is in Bitcoin, it's not going to keep Bitcoin from dumping 50%. And if Bitcoin can dump 50%, then we know ADA can dump 50% or more. With that said, ADA is holding up extremely well against Bitcoin right now. Now, if Bitcoin continues to dump and goes below 30K, then I would be skeptical as to the ability for ADA to continue this move. However, it does not change the fact that I am still very bullish on ADA for this market cycle. I think it's going to go a lot higher than where it currently has gone. But we also recognize that there can be lulls in the market, even in the grand scheme of a market cycle. And if you follow my channel extensively, you know that I think that this market cycle is going to be a lot longer than the prior ones, and that because of that, there's going to be longer consolidation phases where we essentially try to get accustomed to the new normal. I mean, if you think about it, the valuation of ADA has been between $1 and $2 for the most part since February, and now it's June. And in order to go to, say, $10 one day, think about all the different milestones we have to go through. We certainly wouldn't just go straight up to get to, say, a $10 valuation. To get an idea of where $10 would be, it would be around, let me redraw this here. So to get an idea of where $10 would be, it would be around this milestone right here. And in order to get there, it probably wouldn't ever just go straight up, but there can be long periods of sideways movement in the market before you're going to get any substantial move to the upside. Now remember, with Ethereum, we talk about Ethereum last market cycle. Remember that it at one point did have a drop below its 20-week SMA. Okay, so let's not forget that. And in fact, that happened. When that happened, it essentially represented one of the best opportunities to get into Ethereum if you missed this first accumulation range over here. Obviously, this was an accumulation range too. This wasn't a huge opportunity at this point because it ultimately went up. So what I would say with ADA, and as I've always said, is that I'm still very bullish on it for the duration of the market cycle and beyond. I think this will stand the test of time. I've looked into validators on a lot of different networks: Cardano, Polkadot, Avalanche, Matic, Solana, Cosmos. I can tell you that the one that I like the most is Cardano. Okay, it's relatively easy to set up. There's not a limitation here on you can only run 100 validators for the whole network, which makes it extremely centralized. Obviously, Cardano's not doing that, and it's relatively seamless to get up and running. And this makes me even more bullish on Cardano, because then you can have people that come in and start their own validators, and it just only is going to increase the popularity of the network. So as someone who's explored that space extensively, I really do like what Cardano is running, not only from just a project standpoint, but also from, say, like the validator side of things and helping to secure the network. So ADA Bitcoin still looks relatively good. If you were to take a measured move from where we had a prior all-time high against the Bitcoin valuation, it would imply another 87% move. Now, an 87% move from the current valuation of ADA would put it at a fairly modest $2.90 or so. So if ADA were to go there for a constant Bitcoin, we would be at the prior all-time high of the ADA Bitcoin valuation. Now, ADA Ether still looks relatively strong so far. To get to the prior all-time high of the ADA Ether valuation, the valuation of ADA would need to go up about 126% against Ethereum to get back to the local top that it had here in February. It would need to go up about 65%. So 65% up to around 128%, somewhere in that ballpark. So if ADA were to go up, say, like 60% from the current valuations for an invariant Ethereum and put it around 250, which is the prior local top and global top, if it were to go up another, say, 130% to get to the prior all-time high of the ADA Ether valuation, it would put it around 365. I think that right now, patience is what is needed the most in these markets. I think ultimately, we will come out the other side, but rest assured, if Bitcoin continues to remain bearish in the short term, it's going to make it somewhat challenging for projects like Cardano to put in new all-time highs. The fact that that the valuation of ADA is standing as strong as it is to me is somewhat of a testament to how strong the network is, and how I'm guessing having people stake is contributing to that. People are just earning interest. They don't necessarily care about the short-term price movement of ADA as long as they believe in the mission of ADA over the macro scale. So if you guys like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel. If you want to earn interest or rewards, it's really rewards. We say interest because I think more people identify with what that means. If you want to earn interest, go check out the ITC2 stake pool. We'll have a link in the description below to a video that shows you how to do so if you are unaware. Remember, we also have the sale on the premium list that's going to be ending at the end of this week, so make sure you lock in the lower rate if you want access to weekly videos and reports, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, and more. Thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.